Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Scorpio. So, Scorpio, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So, Scorpio, I feel like you are overcoming a lot of fears. You're feeling more grounded than ever, and that really instigates you to just dive into what next challenges appear, because I feel like it's like either you're more confident in yourself, or you realize that your potential is just starting to come to life in a way that is more clear or more grounded, as I said. And that really happens, I feel like, because you are aware that everything that was blocking you or stopping you or making you doubt yourself is now just falling apart. It's not influential anymore. It's not a part of the equation of your decisions. It's not something that you are seeing as an impediment or as a barrier, right? It's like you're overcoming even the unknown, which could, at some point in your journey, because of all the fears that were surrounding you, there might have been a point where it's like everything that was slightly out of your reach, out of your depth, out of your ability to perceive, you considered those things as a threat or as something to be away from, to be protected from. But that is all just falling apart, literally, because we're beginning with the Nine of Swords, but the Nine of Swords came reversed. And the reversals of the cards, they usually don't speak to me. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. This time for you, Scorpio, it feels like it wanted to be described this way, seen this way, to emphasize kind of like the reversal of the traditional meaning of the Nine of Swords, right? So almost like the way that typical tarot readers read the reversal of this card, because it landed right on the position where I placed the opening card like this. So it didn't want to be changed or forgotten, perhaps, right? It's like it wants to be clear, it wants to be highlighted, that whatever was keeping you up at night or keeping your mind completely confused and afraid, is like that is just falling, right? This is how I'm feeling, because what I heard with this card was you're just allowing your guard to come down. It's like to fall down, to fall off, to fall away, or it's almost like this peeling off, to be honest. It feels like, I know that there aren't any knights here, but typically when I see a knight in the reading, I talk about the helmet, I talk about the armor, the shield, all of the protection mechanisms, the defense mechanisms. But because the Nine of Swords is reversed, I feel like for you, it's almost like all of that protection, all of that armor is now just falling off. It's falling away, right? It's like there is no need for you to use that anymore because you are grounded. The Four of Pentacles came with that message. It's like, whatever happens, I know where I'm standing. I know what I stand for, perhaps. I know where I have to go, or like this mental space, or maybe a physical location that you have to go to just enter this state of groundedness, of security, right? And this is almost like the four pillars. It's like you have refined, because of all of the protection mechanisms based on all the fears that were surrounding you or were in your mind, and that you thought you needed all of the protection for. If that is falling away, it's because of the fear, and what remains is like it's your essential foundation, the things that give you the sense of comfort. Typically I see this also as the comfort zone, but it's almost like you're more comfortable than ever in your own body, in your own life, in your own reality, in your own present moment, right? This is what grounds you. This is what this Four of Pentacles is. It's like shaking off all of these extra layers of protection mechanisms. It's like all of the shield. It's like what remains, it's you grounded, more grounded than ever. And then this card, this is such a beautiful combination. I don't think I ever saw these two cards together in a way that I'm seeing today. But the Ace of Wands, and I know the Ace of Wands, the wand suit represents fire, but if you've known me for a while, if you've been here for a while, you know that this card to me represents a tree, like an old, very ancient tree, right? Maybe an oak tree, or like this very big, dense, and very like precious being, right? It's like this old ancient wisdom that comes from this old ancient tree. But the thing about this tree, it's because here you find your groundedness. The moment that you realize that all of your guard is now down, it's like you don't have need for these protection mechanisms or these defensive, it's like the defensive stance, it's being replaced by the sense of groundedness. And it's kind of like this is almost like what is surrounding the tree, right? It's like the pot to the tree, but it's not the pot. It's like the ground, the ground itself, right? The land, like the soil, the thing that is fertilizing the growth of this tree. But the thing about this Ace of Wands is also that is bringing this potential, right? The flame of vitality and inspiration and creativity and passion and desire and all of that. So the thing about this tree, even though if we think of a typical tree, right, it's very planted in one place, it doesn't move, it's fixed. But because of the fire, because of the inspiration, because of the groundedness that enriches the soil with all of the nutrients that are just enhancing the creative power, this tree is not fixed, it's not dead. On the contrary, it's very much alive. It's like it's alive and it's burning, but not burning to the ground, right? What was, burned to the ground was the defense mechanisms, all of the guards that you were putting around you to defend yourself or protect yourself. But because of all of that, it's just going away. What remains, it's like this beautiful, nourished vitality, right? It's like you know how to ground yourself, and as a result, it's like you learned that wherever you are, you're not planted there, you're not fixed there. You have this freedom in a sense, even though you might be very well established in one place, it doesn't mean that you are stuck, right? There is the distinction. You are established, you're not stuck, right? Sometimes I saw this card as, being stuck in your comfort zone. It's not what I'm seeing for you, Scorpio. It's quite the contrary. It's like this is something that is very useful for you. It's like it's bringing the right nutrients for you to power all of your desire. And then the Nine of Wands, because you see here how the Ace of Wands is here, the beautiful image that I was given with the Nine of Wands is actually tied to, I think it was a documentary or an interview on YouTube that I watched a long time ago about the communication of trees, like how the roots, it's like there is like this underground system of communication between trees. So they are not apart, they are not far away from one another, they are communicating, but just in this underground level, maybe in this subconscious level to our human awareness, right? So this is how you perceive that you are alive, that your intention is alive, that your creativity is alive, your passion is alive, because you have the ability to communicate, not just with other trees, I want to say, because it is what I was seeing here with the Nine of Wands, but most of all with your own journey. Because when I see the nines, to me, they represent the individual path. But because there is this communication, this is giving me kind of like a timeline, right? Every single path that you had to come to where you are right now, and then every single path that you're about to go from now onwards. And so this is showing me, like, you know, the past territory that you have already covered, that you have already walked through, that you have already discovered. But it's like what lies ahead, it's like you're still very, so maybe, okay, because the traditional meaning of the Nine of Wands, you know, it's like the struggle and the burdens. It could mean that you had to remain hopeful, in a sense, that every single step that you had to take through the struggles would eventually lead you to finding your ground and where you are right now, because you're no longer, it's like you're no longer bound by your fears. You're no longer bound by these defense mechanisms. It's almost like the defense mechanisms were going to make you feel like you were shrinking, or it was going to be too tight, right? It was going to feel like, you know, this very uncomfortable comfort zone. So it wouldn't feel comfortable or secure, right? So because of all of that going away, what is giving way to what is shifting, in a sense, for you, is that you honor everything that you had to go through, even the struggles, right? Because you were alive back then, even if you were trying to protect yourself. It's like, because it's also a 9, right? So it's like it's still the same individual path, but now you are reframing something that was painful and hurtful and, you know, just a reason to be hopeless, into something that gives you this fire in your belly, this desire to discover what's next, right? It's like the communication, the underground communication is like where you are right now, with your root system very grounded, very safe, very secure, but also like your future version, where you're going next, right? So it's like you already know. It's almost like these communications are leading the way, in a sense, are pointing you to your future version. And so that can sound a little bit out there. That can sound a little bit hard to perceive, really, because it's the unknown, right? And that's exactly what this reading is trying to show you. Because if before, the unknown would scare you away, would prevent you from discovering beautiful things, you know, the beautiful path of flowers that I sometimes see with the Nine of Wands, it's like you're able now to see that, because your energy has been restored. It's like you're more grounded than ever. And if anything challenging comes up, because we have another reversed swords card, which is the Eight of Swords, which I want to say, it's kind of like the trigger that would put you in the Nine of Swords state before, right? Because you see here how we have like the Ace of Swords here, but then the Eight Swords restricting you or limiting your movements, or making you feel like, you know, tight or compressed or suppressed or repressed, however you want to see the Eight of Swords. Whatever fears or traumas or negative thoughts were accompanying you and would make you feel like you needed all of this defensiveness, all of this protection, it's going to show up. But it's going to show up, you know, perhaps you honor more so than ever all the struggles, because they have prepared you even for the challenges that are ahead, that you don't know, but you know that they're not going to make you run away. They're not going to make you fear. They're not going to make you shut down, right? Because all of that, it's almost like it's not even going to reach you, but it might reach you just so that you perceive that now things are changing, that your perception, even your reaction, is completely different. Because with the other four coming next, the Four of Cups, this is actually reinforcing to me the non-fixed quality of the tree, right? Of this old ancient tree. So there is a lot of wisdom in finding groundedness, but this doesn't mean that it needs to happen in one specific place or be limited by specific conditions, right? Physical conditions, I want to say. they are set, the perfect conditions for you to find groundedness. In this case, it's like it's set by your emotions. So it's almost like your mental state and your emotional state are all linked, because the Four of Cups is talking about that dissolution of the need to be fixed in one place. And this is how you really, really see that this tree is alive, right? It's like it's breathing inspiration and new ideas and just newness. And so here, the Four of Cups, it's almost like how you dissolve even the things that would trigger you, right? So these fears, these old, it's like those very vulnerable spots that would put you in this, insomnia state, or this nightmare type of moment in your life, right? It doesn't need to be like, literal nightmares at night, but just, the sense of not feeling good about yourself, feeling like you always need to protect yourself and guard yourself against the world. It all falls away, because the moment that you need to ground yourself independently of where you are, right? Because it's not fixed by a specific place. It's more like this notion that these pillars, this foundation, these essential things are nourishing, are giving life to your energy, to your like vital force, right? This life force that is within you. So that whatever challenges that, just come up next, it's like you will know that you won't be bothered by these fears again. It's like, but it's almost like you need to be tested, right? It's like there has to come up like, something that you would consider like, this complete challenging situation. And now, because you can dissolve, because you know that you are grounded, but you're grounded in your emotions, you're grounded in your mental space, you're grounded in your physical place, right? Your physical body, like everything is so grounded that you know that you're not going to break out. It's like you're not going to have this emotional breakdown, or this burnout, or whatever it is. It's like you are in control of your emotions, you are in control of your own inspiration. Maybe you're, the inner fire that could represent rage or frustration or anger, or whatever burns you from the inside out. It's like you're in control of that. You know that it can be part of the journey, but it can also inform like this underground communication, so that like what is coming up, right? But in a very energetic way, maybe in a very instinctive way, because the Two of Swords ending your first part of the reading, at least, this card is talking about, well, it's the only card, the Swords card, that is upright, right? The other two are reversed. So these two that would be like the doubt, the the low self-esteem, maybe the negative thoughts and all of that, they're reversed. So this is being reframed and replaced in a sense by new steps forward, right? Because to me, the twos represent the steps forward, but the Two of Swords specifically being the card that traditionally brings, the blindfolded person. Even when you don't know what is up ahead, because you might not have the full picture, but you have the instinct to go there, or the instinct to do something. And then when you allow that inspiration to move you, even if the unknown presents itself as a scary thing, you will know that you're grounded in your emotions and that you can proceed forward despite knowing every single detail, or not having that much information of what's going to come, or what is exactly the challenge that you're facing or that you're about to face, right? So this is beautiful also, because it's like here, meaning that these two swords are upright. It feels like it's almost like the challenge is for you to trust, not only in your heart, but also in this sense of keeping your inspiration alive, keeping your creativity alive, but in a way that it's like you you just know that you're going to be secure, right? It's like I'm seeing the, the person that is, blindfolded and, just, walking ahead. It's like they don't really see where they're going to land, where the next step is going to be on, or if it's going to be supported or not. But there is this confidence, right? There is a little bit of this like knowingness that the more grounded you are, not only physically but also emotionally and energetically, it's like even the things that you don't see coming, they're not going to scare you away. In fact, because we have the Sun card at the bottom of the deck, they're actually going to instigate you even more, right? It's going to feel like a fun game to play. It's going to feel like, okay, so bring on the next challenge. This is going to be, like such a fun ride. I'm just seeing this as like you being completely, well, if the trigger back then, right, of the Eight of Swords would put you in a position of fearing everything, fearing the unknown, now what it triggers instead is like, okay, now this is going to be a fun ride, right? This is how I'm seeing this Sun. So that is interesting. So Scorpio, there is a huge overcoming of your fears today for you in this message. So I truly hope that this helps you in any way possible. I am going to pull more cards for you to see what comes next. And also I'm going to pull from the astrological runes. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.